unless we find somebody better. I can like, that looks good. You look relaxed and I look pert and perky. Ice and a little bit.
I think so.
That was nothing else. Shelby, would you do me a huge favor?
Yeah.
Would you do a field trip over to the refrigerator and throw me a bottle of water?
I don't know.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
Shelby, you want to come say hi to the peeps?
Right here?
Okay.
Got to frame yourself?
Say hello.
Hi,
Introduce yourself.
I'm Shelby.
You have
From
more
where?
social skills than that. Go ahead.
I'm Shelby from New Orleans.
And
And
what are you doing?
I'm here to train with a good dog.
And so when did you get?
Felt like we were going somewhere.
Just give us a 30-second elevator speech.
Okay.
She's been preparing the elevator speech
Yeah.
about this for a long time.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Pressure's on.
Hi guys. I'm Shelby from New Orleans, and I started as a client with my big bad dog, and,
Samson.
and now I'm here to train with these guys
Lovely people.
You're hired on as an assistant
as an
trainer.
assistant trainer.
And you're working every day with the board and trained dogs, and your goal is to do one-on-ones in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Just let me know.
So what Laura's trying to say is that Shelby's training with us in order to be ready to
The way
go.
she's making it sound is that she's like, I'm a shadow.
I'm hanging out here.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, ladies, sell yourself.
Okay. I'm just put on the spot right now.
Yes, the real spot.
Okay.
Well, just wave to them and tell them you love them.
Hey guys.
So Shelby's
Love you
here.
guys.
Shelby's here training with us. She's from NOLA, and she's getting ready to be one of our big assistants in NOLA that's going to be working with folks on board and trains and one-on-ones and all sorts of stuff. So she's just fine-tuning her skills while she's out here, getting all the good dog magic and secrets all in place so she can share them with you guys.
Perfectly said.
Thanks. That's why I get paid the big bucks.
High five.
Yeah. Together, I'll do a little puppet. Ready? Shelby, look at the thing. Talk. Hi, I'm Shelby. The puppet thing didn't work. So,
No, it didn't work.
you ready to rock and roll?
So am.
This feels so unfair.
Oh, you already had one.
Maybe. There's no evidence that I've had one.
The evidence is all up here in the bzzz.
I was doing Periscope a minute ago, setting up this little giveaway that we're doing, and somebody was like, "Man, you got red eyes. Looks like you've been blazing." I'm like,
You're like,
There's
first
no,
of all,
like,
ban and delete.
first of all, like stonerdogtrainer.com like is available if you want it.
I'm sure
because I'm not using it.
That would be a lot of bite risk.
Right? We're talking about maybe some
Lots of shots.
Lots of shots. They might
Early morning wake-ups.
Am I bloodshot? Give me a good gander. I don't think I am.
No, but you wake up early and you work out early in the morning, so you're gonna have a little like
Step into a Slim Jim.
pump iron, and you move shit around the yard. And
I do man stuff. I threw a dead squirrel away today. It was man stuff. Like this.
that's like my dad stuff.
The good dog ranch has really made me step up my game. I've got a dumpster out front. I've had to like maneuver a dumpster and set up furniture, shovel a dead squirrel. What else has gone here? We've had our gate get blown off the hinges.
That's true.
I've had to manhandle that gate all by myself and get it back on its thing, which I managed to do, reset it, took it apart, got all the gizmos together. Well, gizmos weren't the technical term for it, but I messed with some switches.
Yeah,
is what I really did. I went about this, one about this, and
I put together some chairs out front. I mean, definitely.
This girl was on the phone doing client calls. We were all watching through the window. It was almost like being at the zoo. And we were watching Shelby and Henri and me. We were watching through the window over there. That's the multitasking animal, and that multitasking animal was handling serious client phone calls, and she was putting together patio furniture with her other hand. And we were all pretty impressed with it because it takes my full concentration. So.
Well, I was at the point in the phone call. Let me be clear.
Do you want Henri over here to do you want to torture her too?
Yes. You can.
It's great because Henri's gonna make me look tall, and I love it.
Hello.
It's my new assistant, or my new co-host, I should say.
Henri, tell the peeps who you are and where you're from and how you found us and what you're doing with us.
And what are you doing here?
What am I doing?
Tell us about you.
I'm Henri. And then where should I start? I went to different seminars before I attended T3.
You went to every seminar.
You've studied a ton of places.
You studied in Japan, yeah.
She's like the most experienced dog trainer.
Right. Out of all of us, she's got the most experience.
She really does. We're all
just like, well, what do you think?
So, and then you went to T3?
And then I went to T3.
Battled with me over glazed donuts in Dallas. We went head to head. I think I won.
I don't know if anyone could beat
We'll have a showdown. We'll set it up.
And then at T3, well, even though I was taking all these seminars, these classes, I didn't know how to be a dog trainer.
So kind of putting the pieces together. Yeah.
Things like
And
that.
then T3 allowed me to meet you guys, and then
Her master plan was formed.
It was formed long before.
Laura's got a theory that this is all a master plan.
Henri's just full of master plans in general, which is awesome about her. I see a little bit of me in her.
oh, okay.
And next thing you know, here she is working with us.
Yes.
And she's just moving in. You're in the process of moving into the Good Dog Ranch.
She's only going to get more and more integral as she's a badass here.
More and more integral.
Integral here.
Integral.
No, integral. Oh, you say integral?
It depends.
You go his team.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Go eat. Go.
Can you see this? Oh, you can't. All right, that's not gonna work.
What is it? You want me to hold it?
Integral. Either integral or integral. Integral or integral.
It's more like.
Or integral.
Say it. Wait, let me hear it again. The first one. Integral.
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 You kind of slide around it a little bit.
the
Some
second
consonants
time.
get a little slippery in there.
The first time
The pressure got you.
I said it right, and then you were like, integrals? I'm like, no.
That's what it sounded
I
like.
said integral. She's integral to everything here.
Integral.
And she's going to become more and more integral.
Or integral.
Or integrals.
Who knows? We'll see how it all plays out. I think it's probably a good time to dodge these bullets and get into the show.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got some cool stuff going on, guys. We've been hammering this home for the last, couple weeks, maybe a month. NOLA Workshop is coming up with me and this lady. We're very close to selling it out. We'd love to sell it out with the last few folks.
Yeah.
If
not, we get a smaller group than we were expecting, and that's awesome.
Yeah, and then we treat them really nice because you guys aren't there, and we take them out to fancy places, and then you'll feel really bad that you're not there with us.
Exactly.
So little guilt, little twist the knife.
Yep.
And then I'm going to be out there for a couple weeks working board and trains with.
Sad.
I know it's especially the Good Dog Ranch is just coming together, and I've got to be out there branding the cattle and stuff, but we'll see who can make that happen, or shoveling dead squirrels. So I'm going to be out in NOLA for a little, actually over 2 weeks. 20 days, I think is what you said.
Yeah.
So working board and trains and trying to help out with some clients. I've got some tougher dogs out there.
Yeah, we have. Oh my lord, that is a Joodles.
Did you get drooled?
Look at. That's slime.
Is it slime?
Yep.
Slime bot. Junior's 16 and something, and he does a little bit of like dueling drool
That
things.
is not true. What he does is he seeks out expensive equipment.
Electronic items.
Yes, like brand new iPhones. Thank you very much.
It couldn't be that he's 16 and a half and maybe senile.
He doesn't care if it's not under $1,000. If it's under $1,000, he doesn't care. But laptops, iPhones, fancy cameras, any sound equipment, he just seems to be drawn to it with his jowls, and then he just rests his jowls on them so it's covered in drool. Nice bags too. He likes nice purses.
I'd say his personality is integral to this whole situation here, so
integral.
so we can let it slide. I'm going to be gone for a little while, so it's going to be like ladies' night here for like 20 days. It's going to be all chicks all the time out here, right?
Long.
So you guys are going to be in charge
I'm
of
going
like
to be in NOLA for 5 days, so.
Yeah, so you'll be gone for a little bit.
Yeah.
But Britt comes back from Japan.
And then I go to Norway.
And then you got to, oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you will be gone. So it will be like,
I come back from NOLA. And
it's
then
like
I
the
have
parents
like a
are leaving,
week.
like going out of town. Like, are the kids going to throw parties every night?
They are. They
Okay.
have to. I would be sad if they didn't.
I'm going to get cameras put up.
You should.
We'll keep an eye.
Yeah.
So this chick's going to Norway, which is going to be awesome.
In Paris.
And, geez Louise. And Paris. Brittany's in Japan. Like, what's going on here?
Hey.
Living the good life. I like it. I like it. The good dog facilitates the good life. So Laura's actually going to be seeing, going to be seeing Larissa.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A new baby.
Just had her baby, yeah.
Awesome.
Best friend from high school.
Right.
Just had her baby. I'm going to see my other best friend who lives in Norway, and then I'm flying down to Paris to see Larissa for 3 nights, flying back to
Bula?
Norway. Huh?
Bula.
What's that?
Who's your best friend in Norway?
Oh, Bula.
I was close. I was close. Come on. You got, like, it means cinnamon roll, which is why I remember it. Right?
Bula. It's Tina, but yeah, that's her nickname.
Yeah, because you guys were talking, like,
Yeah,
it's a long story.
But many years ago, we started calling each other Bolla, and that means like cinnamon roll in Norwegian.
I wish somebody called me that. Sorry. That one got away from me, guys. Anyways, apparently this is going to be a little bit of a wild and woolly show.
It's fun.
So, okay. So
there's no wine flowing. It's
no.
weird.
So the Helix video just came out. People are really digging that. I think
cool.
that's a really important video for you guys. If you haven't seen it,
Yep.
go to our YouTube or go to our Facebook and really scope it out. I think it's really powerful stuff about inhibiting bad, negative, aroused, aggressive behaviors straight away in order to create a gateway for good, appropriate behavior and a proper state of mind for learning.
Yep.
So I would definitely scope that out. And then we've got the LAT3 coming up, which is going to be here at the Good Dog Ranch. I don't know how many spots are left for that, but I know people are like clamoring for it. So it's
5 spots.
5 spots. Cool.
And at this point in the game, that's really full.
Yeah.
Like those
because
5
there's
spots
several
will go.
months,
Yeah,
right? Because we've got, it's July.
Yeah, it's 3 months to go, and to have 5 spots left is serious.
Pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yes.
So we've been selling out earlier and earlier and earlier, which is just
doing
fantastic.
less of them, so people are jumping on it, which is great. But we don't want people to miss out. So if you're interested in going, let us know. And also, like, just so you guys know, everything we do, we bill through PayPal. So even if it's a DVD, everything's through PayPal. And if you're in the checkout for PayPal, it always asks you about PayPal credit, if you want to pay for this through PayPal credit. Sorry, this is so random, but I'm just thinking like you have an option to get a credit plan and say it's like the DVD, or say it's our workshop, or say it's T3. Tons of people pay on credit, and you basically have 6 months to pay it off with no interest.
That's a great deal.
Payments. Yeah. So it's, you get a credit check, and it's obviously you're opening a line of credit, but it's really cool if you want something in a pinch and it's really important to you, but you don't have all the cash right now, you can partially fund it through PayPal. So that's one of the reasons we love using PayPal.
Yeah, pretty cool. So if money's a little bit tight, that could be an option for you guys to be able to make this happen.
If you're interested.
So do you want to do the giveaway early in the show or at the end of the show?
We can give away one now and then one later.
Oh, sandwich it a bit. Right before we shot this, I did a very quick Periscope. and created a little bit of a giveaway setup. I asked you guys to email in for prong collar DVD or ECollar DVD and tell us a little bit about why you wanted it.
Yep.
We got hit with emails like bombarded, like a hailstorm of emails, which is pretty awesome that you guys were so into it. And so Laura's going to pick one to give away right now. So we're just going to start off the show with a boom.
With a bang.
With a bang and a little generosity.
Start there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Jackie Wicked Butler.
Jackie Wicked Butler. She wrote us and said, "Hey Lovey, tis moi again. So why I would like the prong collar DVD? Well, although I think I'm not bad with the prong, number 1, you can always be better. Number 2, you never stop learning. Number 3, I'm learning from the best.
Aww.
Number 4, I consider you a huge influence and mentor in my life. Number 5, I'm at the beginning of a new venture with my business. And last but not least, I just think you're a really decent, kind, warm, and genuine human being. And one day I want to be successful and help and encourage people just like you."
Wow.
Here endeth the story.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. Thank you, Jackie. That means a lot. Yeah. Was she talking about you or me?
She was talking about you.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. That's really, really
absolutely true. If you guys know Sean, to know Sean is to love Sean. So very, very true.
That's really sweet. And I'm really happy, or we're really happy to be able to share that with you because you've followed us for so long and like so supportive, so much love. And even if it's just to pop in and say wicked, we appreciate you every time you stop by.
And we get to meet you.
And we get to meet you.
That's right. Workshop.
That's right. This will be a good little advance for her to where she shows up at the workshop ready to like gunsling.
Yep. She's like, I know how to prong collar train, don't you worry.
Okay, so she got the prong collar DVD, right?
Sure did.
Boom.
So we'll wait. Maybe we'll do a mid-question.
Okay, I like that. Man, this is coming together nicely.
So Jackie, congratulations. Send me your address.
I was gonna say, we didn't get an address.
Send address ASAP whenever you watch this, which will be on Saturday.
Perfect.
Okay.
I say we get into the show
Jump
before it turns into a marathon.
Episode number?
Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog, and this is the Jumping the Gun. Miss Laura Morgan over here. Also known as the lovely Laura Morgan.
I'm always worried. That's it.
Hang in there, lady. You okay? You okay? So, this is Sean from The Good Dog. And the lovely Laura Morgan. And this is show... Do I get to do 1 or 8? 8?
He wasn't good in math.
There's nothing about wasn't. He isn't good in math.
I just love that joke because putting 8 fingers on your hand doesn't have anything to do with math.
Well, it does. I still had to like make sure what was going on. Hey, I own it. I'm not fishing for any sympathy here.
No one's
but
saying that.
You just said really nice things about me, and then you just crushed me simultaneously just moments later.
You're a hair trigger for being crushed.
Right? Very sensitive.
Question number 1. Candace says, I have been training dogs since I got my first dog, and now 7-year-old Doberman. I also have a dog boarding business out of my home. I would like to start incorporating board and trains into the business. I have my first client next week, but since I have a full-time job and do the dog biz on the side, I told her I could take him on my 2 days off. The dog has some reactivity issues when seeing other dogs on leash, and I'm wondering if you think doing a 2-day board and train would be sufficient to teach basic prong foundational skills, then teach the owner how to continue working on those skills. Do you have a minimum number of days regardless of the dog, or does it always depend on the severity of the issues you're tackling?
This one is for Laura Morgan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Candace. So Candace actually sent me a video this week, which is awesome. It's a video of her doing place command, and she looks super fluid, super great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's doing place command.
Great.
She might have gotten a DVD from us, so she looks great.
Okay.
Really good skills. If you're doing that on the side of your full-time job and you're getting good results, I guarantee you're gonna be very successful very soon because it looks really good.
Wow. That's a nice compliment.
Yeah. So with something like this, with what you're trying to do like on the side, a 2-day board and train is great, especially for prong foundation. It's not perfect, but for what you're trying to do, depending on the owner and depending on, you know, the expectations, you want to make sure that expectations are in line. Like, it's only 2 days, you know, you can only get so far.
Really important.
You're not going to proof the dog totally because that would be moving way too fast with the dog.
Yep.
what I want you to do is, God, I still got this tea in my throat. What I want you to do, Candace, is really prep whoever is coming, whoever the owner is, that this is just going to be a start. It's going to be getting foundation. I don't want you feeling stressed. I don't want you up at midnight doing a 5th training session with the dogs. You're like, I only have 24 hours to go. You know, this is you like doing this person a solid to kind of get the dog into a good space without them there, and then the work's going to be on them. You don't want to push the dog too hard. You don't want to have super high expectations.
Yep.
Just doing prong foundation is great. Getting the dog to, you know, in 2 days, you know, probably just on pressure. Maybe the dog that you showed me in the video is a little bit further than this dog will get by the end, right? So for place command or something.
Yeah.
Definitely on walks, you can get a nice correction for looking or for not staying in the heel.
There's reactivity stuff, right?
Yeah, so that's great. But inside the house, you know, after 2 days, we don't want the dog much past pressure. You know, what I would say is you do a 2-day board and train, and then you do a 1 hour follow-up in the middle of the week after that, where you can move the dog a little bit more forward, you know, and then maybe the next weekend you do another 1 session. So you want the dog to be, you know, at a correction level pretty quick, but you want to give time. Am I answering the question?
Yeah.
I think like just in terms of...
It's just an interesting one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting question to try and kind of like come up with a good answer for.
I think your main thing was like, do you have a set time? We do. So we do a 2-week board and train is like our minimum. In New Orleans, we'll do a 1-week intensive, but that's because Sean's usually working with like 1 or 2 dogs max, so he can like get a lot more in.
Yeah.
But for what you're doing, and like if you were a T3 student, I would be saying like, do whatever you can. A 2-day board and train is awesome. If the dog's super...
It's better than nothing, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, you can make some major progress.
Yeah. You want to give the owner homework. You want to give them a nice, like, this is what you do when you get home. Make it super simple for them to follow. If the dog's still on pressure, give them very, like, simple rules to follow. Not, like, become a dog trainer. That's the last thing an owner wants to do. Getting the dog to corrections within that week would be great, because then the owner can just put him in place and correct him if we're doing whatever. What was I going to say? Yeah, expectations are the biggest thing. You knowing that the expectations are there so you don't feel super rushed is great. And then, you know, continuing on the training is going to be really good for you guys, you know, and the dog. Even if you do it for free, just do the like, hey, I'm going to meet you midweek, you know, after work. 7
I love
p.m.
the idea of the midweek little meeting, check-in, and see where everything's at. Just something that I added is that, and you kind of hinted at this, but you could always do another 2-day the next week, right? So you could do the 2-day, you could meet in the middle of the week, make sure everything's looking good, and then you could take the dog for another 2 days, and then you end up with almost like a 5-day kind of like, you know, of work along with homework in between. You could make some serious action happen.
And you know what else you could do? Just take him for a 2-week board and train. And while you're gone at work, if you're gone for a 9-hour day, maybe you can come home in the middle of the day and walk him in the middle of the day, but him spending 4 hours and 4 hours in a crate is not out of control, especially in a board and train.
Yeah.
A lot of time spent in the crate to kind of like settle and get more in a more calm space. So you could do a 2-week board and train with a full-time job. T3ers do it all the time, as long as you don't have like a 12-hour day.
Yeah,
and in that
it's got to be reasonable.
Yeah, if you have a 9-hour day and you can come home in the middle of the day, or you have a balanced trainer dog walker that can do a walk in the middle of the day or something, a friend that, you know, can just let the dog out or whatever. But you could do a 2-week board and train in the morning, you know, walk in the morning, do a little place command while you're getting ready. And then at night is more of like an active training session where you're teaching new behaviors and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Come
I
home
like
in the middle
it.
of the day.
There's a lot of possibilities. Yeah.
But to close out, if you have a seriously heavy dog...
You got 21 seconds left?
Yeah.
Wow, I was going to say, I thought you were way over.
Oh, no.
Look at you go. Okay. All right, wrap it up. Nice.
If this dog is super challenging, don't stress. Don't be like, in 2 days...
That's the wild card. Yeah.
If you've got a dog who's like, you know, a lot of dogs, you'll get out there on a prong for the first time and they're like, oh, okay, never mind, right?
Yeah. I'm good.
I'm good. I want to stay in place. Thank you so much. But If you get out there and the dog's like, oh yeah, you might want to, you know.
I hate that part.
The oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, oh.
Yeah, just don't rush yourself. That's the biggest thing. Not good for the dog, not good for you, and not good for the owner.
And be creative, like Laura said, in like, people are going to be pretty okay with you like moving things around. If your intent is to like help them the most you can, they should be pretty flexible about like how you make that happen.
And one last thing, get before and after video, because if you're starting a business, and I'm assuming you're doing this dog for free, or if they're paying you for a 2-day board and train, you want to do a full board and train for that same price, do it. Who cares about the cost? Who cares about the money?
Yeah.
At this point, you just need videos showing what kind of results you're getting. And the video you showed me was just your legs, but I'd love to see your pretty face working all that stuff. So
You must have turned that alarm off.
yeah, I turned it off.
Oh, I was going to say, you bought yourself some extra time. Okay.
Okay. Question number 2.
Number 2.
Comes from Miss Sarah.
This one's for me, yours truly.
Sarah says,
Yes.
my 3-year-old suspected American Bulldog mix is reactive now to any people or dogs in the neighborhood walking by as we go for a walk. He seems to remember the small dog that has charged him 3 times off leash from his own yard while we walked by across the street and leashed. We now struggle to walk by any pedestrian or dog or human combo. He lunges and snarls as though being offensive is his best defense.
Okay. You want to hit me with a timer?
Go for it.
Because you know how I like to spin a yarn.
Spinning on.
Okay, so first thing I'd want to know is what tools you're using, right? If you're using flat buckle, martingale, harness, halty, anything like that, you could find yourself in a whole world of hurt where you're not able to actually influence your dog. So that's a really important one. And I know I can't get that information from you right now. That said, we would highly recommend that you go to at least prong collar, but whenever we get reactive dogs, we always go to prong collar and e-collar for walks. So that would be like, if you called me up on a phone consult and you were like, hey, here's what I've got, you know, going on with my reactive dog, and he's starting to kind of like generalize to people and stuff, I would say, I want you to get prong collar on your dog, and I want you to get an e-collar on your dog, and I want you to watch, you know, my e-collar heel videos, and go through those and get your dog into a calm, chilled out, relaxed state of mind on the walk. And once that's rocking and rolling, then you can correct your dog for looking for escalation, for reacting, any of that stuff, which could be like just a couple days into the actual program. But there's a whole thing here, like the wrong tools and you're kind of toast. So you could go out with a great intent and a great strategy and being like all resolute as get out, as get out,
As all get out.
as all get out, and it won't matter if the tools aren't right. So the tools are so important for reactivity stuff. So e-collar and prong are highly recommended. Then the other part of this was that I'd want to make sure that everything else you're doing with all the foundation stuff is also sending the right message to your dog. Sit, down, place, thresholds, all those things need to look good in the house. If they're not, if you're allowing your dog too much freedom, too much access into your personal space, too much affection, and not enough structure and rules in the house and obedience commands that he's got to follow, you're sending a mixed message and you're telling that dog you can kind of do what you want to do. And if your dog says, I can kind of do what I want to do in the house, he's definitely going to say, I can do what I want to do outside on the walk. And if he's insecure because he's been attacked or been charged by a bunch of little nasties, then the less structure, leadership, rules, guidance, and accountability you show in the house, the less safe he's going to feel on the walk in your presence. So you can really leverage the interior work to create fantastic state of mind stuff out on the walk, right? So the combination of the right tools, the right training approach, structure the rules, interior, interior, exterior, make sure that all that stuff comes together. If you're really committed, this is a lot of work. This isn't like, oh, we just put a collar on him and we're aces. You're talking about like, this dog is starting to generalize. It's an American Bulldog. It's a big dog. And you're talking about him starting to generalize with reactivity and lunging at human beings. It's not okay. That's a very dangerous situation. So if I was you, I'd go for the full enchilada. You can watch our free videos, link it up here, and and just jump into it and like have some fun with it, but like get your dog into a great space where your dog knows how to heel in a relaxed state. I'm telling you, you get a dog to e-collar heel in a relaxed place without all that arousal and silliness and crazy stuff going on, and you will see dramatically different results. All the dogs that we get day after day are your dogs over and over and over again, and all we do are these simple, basic approaches with these tools and these strategies, and these dogs end up walking really nicely. The lunging dissipates, the lunging goes away, the growling, the barking, all that stuff, all the histrionic stuff go away. So, and then once you do get your dog into a great space with all that, if you're like committed to this, if you're really ready to go take it on, then it comes down to those really simple kind of factors with reactivity stuff, which most owners struggle with, and that is going too low, too slow. And that means like once your dog's e-collar conditioned and knows how to e-collar heel, then when you see a dog or your dog sees a dog, the moment that your dog starts to escalate, I don't mean like, oh, he's starting to like really lift off. I mean the moment he goes from like this, like that, bang.
And American Bulldogs are easy, they wrinkle up.
So at that moment, you correct nice and firm and you correct quick. You don't wait and see. Don't do what every other owner does that's struggling does. They wait and see. Is he going to do it this time? Is he going to do it? Maybe we'll just get by. Don't do that. Correct at the first moment of your dog getting uncomfortable. Think about it this way, rather than like punishing him. The first moment your dog gets uncomfortable, correct him so he can relax and become comfortable again. And you can recondition him to be comfortable on walks around dogs and comfortable around people. So that is my answer, and I hope that that helps you, but it's a lot of work. So you have to be ready to dive in and do that work.
Definitely.
And I'll drink to that.
Definitely. You have 50 seconds. Can I add something? So I was on the phone today with a guy who has a similar situation. The dog was great with dogs and then got attacked by a couple dogs, and even though he was still like good with dogs, he started to slowly not trust dogs and now is attacking them. So the thing he was asking me, he was a really sweet guy, but he was like, you know, what does affection have to do with this? You know, he's like, we've spoiled him pretty good.
Got to do?
And I was like, you know, we don't give absolutes, but what I can say in our experience is that for a nervous dog, nervous about whatever, dogs or whatever they're stressed about, affection and spoiling is going to be the reason or the undoing of a nervous dog. It's just going to make them more nervous. So what we've seen over and over and over.
Can you explain why? Really quickly
is just that, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons, but the reality is the dog doesn't feel like, it feels like there's a soft presence that's taking care of him or supposed to be leading him. So he's actually not being led. So it's like, how can, you know, I use the example of like, why can I rely on you to keep me safe from this dog when you and I just had a cuddle session 20 minutes ago on the couch? You know, you're my cuddle buddy. You don't take care of me. So I was talking to the guy just about that, and it was interesting because it's not like the dog's not like going after him. It's not like being bratty. It's just nervous about other dogs. And we were just talking about how that softness can create a dog that feels way more on its own and alone when out in the world or around anything it's nervous about. So it's something you definitely want to check in with. You mentioned it earlier. But I just wanted to add that in.
But intent, like somebody just wrote on Facebook today, which was really interesting, talking about how like intent of like making meals for your dogs, like really complex things, and like, well, I'm not sure.
I talked about that.
No. Somebody just posted today on something. And they were just talking about how they hadn't really connected, like all these little behaviors and choices are born out of intent, and typically that intent is leaning on our dogs too much, needing our dogs too much, being too emotionally connected.
It was what we were talking about with Casey. Sorry.
Ice
cream cone, and I was saying like that intent.
And she responded talking about like owners, like she hadn't connected that owners making food for their dogs and things like that could be connected to that because it seems so benign. But it's not benign in that, like with human beings, you can always recognize subtext, right? If I do something for you and you feel it's like there's something else underneath, or I'm doing it for a reason, you're going to recognize it. We're so well trained, but we don't see it with dogs. Or we don't think dogs see it with us. actually would be the clear way to say it, but they do. That's the whole thing. And when you're in a soft mode with the dog, affection and things like that, and you want to go out and tell your dog, listen to me and don't misbehave, it's such a mixed message for a dog. You can share affection and all that stuff and cuddle bug time and all that. Once you get your dog into a great space and your dog is like rock solid, cool, go do it then. But don't try and like build like, hey, believe me, I'm leading the show when you're sending out mixed messages of softness consistently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. Just like your mom, she wouldn't start the semester off by going around and hugging all the kids in the classroom.
No, she would.
Because she'd get eaten alive.
She'd be host. The rest, that minute would be great. This is a cool thing, like that concept of like, you have the regret of discipline, or you have the the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So the pain of my mom being disciplined and being like, I'm gonna be a hard ass with you guys now, and it's gonna suck and not be comfortable, versus her just starting off really soft and having everyone love her, but then the rest of the 9 months of the year being horrible, or her starting off like tough, but then having no regret later when all the kids are great. And
the kids are comfortable, respectful, polite, and
learning
and excelling and all that stuff. So anyways, that one got long and out of hand, and long in the tooth for LaDawn. So we're going to get out of here into the next question.
Okay, so question number 3 comes from Becky. Becky says, I have a 15-plus-year-old American Eskimo who's in full heart failure. He's doing okay for now, but will not be with us much longer. I also have a 2.5-year-old GSD mix that I rescued from the shelter at around 5 months. He has slight separation anxiety. He will not consider going in the yard by himself, so I'm afraid I will have to go outside with him when the old guy is gone. Any input on how to transition him into being the only pup in the yard? I've made some attempts at letting him out by himself while the old guy is sleeping, but he won't get off the deck and just sits there waiting for the door to open so he can come back in. Any thoughts or suggestions on this problem will be appreciated. He is pretty well trained obedience-wise, just FYI. Okay,
so I was going to let both of us answer this so we can both kind of take a shot at it. So for one, I would trust... And this is a hard one. I know your dog's struggling right now, but I'd trust in the fact that dogs are so infinitely adaptable. They deal with so many things. They can like be pulled out of a home they've lived in for 8 years, go to the shelter for 2-3 months, get adopted by a new family, and be like aces in a great space. Just they're able to move forward like that. So doesn't mean it won't be hard, doesn't mean that your dog may not struggle, doesn't mean that your dog may not be depressed and go through a mourning process, but I think your dog will come out on the other side just fine. What I would suggest is that you go out in the backyard with your dog on a long line or on a leash, and you're just super persistent and super consistent and super patient, and you just take him out there and you don't bring him back in if you can until he potties, and you might be out there for a while. And I would just hang and just get him used to it. Eventually he's going to get used to it. He's got to get used to it. And I really think he will. I just think that, like, I'm sure the whole family dynamic is shifting a little bit because you guys know your dog is dying. I'm really sorry about, but I'm sure that that's having an effect on you guys, and also the way that you're dealing with your other dog. So anything you want to add to that?
I was just thinking, like, you've got, I know it's hard too to have a softer, this guy that's kind of insecure, has had some separation anxiety, a little dependent, soft, and you feel, it's easy to fall into the trap of like feeling sad for him too. It's like he can only do this when his older buddies around and this sort of thing. And unfortunately for dogs like that, our version of like trying to soothe that is their undoing. Kind of like the last question we were talking about. So with human beings, if it was a young child or a friend or something, you could soothe them into like, come on, we can do this, you can do this. But a dog like that needs like more firmness, and it feels weird because you're like, but he's soft. And and then he's scared of things, or he's got,
And just to clarify, you don't mean firm by like, get over here and like.
Firmness meaning more structure, more like accountability in terms of like, if you were to put him outside on a say you had a long line to a tree because you don't want him like going on the deck or something, right? So say for a while you could supervise him on a long line on a tree or something like that. And it's like, you'd be like, after an hour, you'd be like, I should bring him in, you know, because I feel bad for him. Maybe he's whining or doing this, but you kind of have to push through that stuff. That's what I mean by firmness, is just kind of pushing through those moments and not allowing his anxiety or his stuff to get the best of the situation, you know?
Yeah, and undo his progress and growth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just, sorry, one more thing is just like getting an e-collar. I don't know, you said he's great in obedience. If you could get this dog e-collar trained and you could do like work with him outside. Like if he's got trouble being outside alone, you start calling him, recalling him down.
Great idea.
Did you? Oh.
No, it's a great idea.
Yeah, so so he's out in the yard feeling more comfortable and more structured. Then he's like gaining confidence and he's like, oh, I got this, you know?
But e-collar work really creates confidence, and it's a hard one for a lot of people to wrap their heads around, but that's a really great solution or suggestion to get a dog that's like apprehensive and nervous to work on e-collar stuff. Yeah, and like, because e-collar work done right eventually is non-negotiable. It's like, get your butt over here, get your butt over here. And
we're not asking them to jump through hoops of fire. It's like, come to me, lay down.
Run over to me, yeah.
So
so that would be a great suggestion if you're looking to go a little bit deeper. But a hard one for people that have dogs that are soft is like, they're like, oh, I don't want to put an e-collar on him because he's a soft, sensitive dog. Actually, those are the dogs that they tend to thrive by, like what Laura said, a little more structure, a little more rules, a little more accountability, a little more push. And if another family adopted your dog and didn't know his history, they would just go out and be like, we just got to get him out in the backyard and potty, and we just got to like do it.
Let's go.
And let's go, as Jeff Gellman would say. And part of that kind of like why dog trainers succeed is because we don't have the whole emotional story going on in our heads. We just see the dog, this is what we need to do, and we just go and do it, and we're a bit neutral about it. And that neutrality really helps dogs move forward and not get kind of like caught up in the web of all of the stuff that's going on, all the other dynamics. So just treat them like normal and push a little bit more than maybe you're thinking you should. It's no crime, and it feels hard, and it's so hard when you've got a dog, you know, another dog going, you know, dying. That's just so hard for your family and for everything. But the best thing you can do is just get that dog into a much more like working mode. Okay, buddy, it's going to be you and I, you know, it's going to be all of us and you soon. So you got to get this up. You got to get this like confidence, and just soft stuff is going to be hard. More structure, not just obedience, but like if he's in a place commander and a down, he doesn't leave that. He has to be accountable to it. It sounds weird, but that will actually make him go potty in the backyard. I mean, the worst thing, I'm going to close it out here, but the worst thing you could do is soothe, nurture, coddle, cuddle, hold him all the time and try and make him feel better. Worse. It's absolutely guaranteed to make him worse.
We see it all the time.
We don't say that to be harsh or hard asses. We just say it to try and help you do better with your dog. Cool
guys. Thanks.
Good luck. Keep us posted. I'd love to hear how that works out for you guys.
Thanks. Can I hear a giveaway? A mid-session giveaway. This is an ECollar DVD.
Somebody won the big one.
The email says, hey Sean, this is Dawn Riley. This is going to be super brief, but I'd really love the ECollar DVDs. You may remember me from Q&A a while back, I think 73, where I asked to handle my aggressive male boxer on walks when he would randomly lunge and growl at strangers and people entering our house.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, that was 2 months ago or something. I got the wake-up call from Laura. I still cannot thank her or you enough for being so honest. I'm dying to see that. I want to see that answer.
You got to go revisit.
And starting working with my dogs the very next day. I know you guys get tons and tons of people chatting with you every day, so it may not come to mind, but it's made a lasting impression on me and how I work with my dogs.
Wow.
Since doing prong training with my dogs, we've made serious leaps and bounds, but I want to further their training even more. I recently just saved up enough for the Mini Educator 302, and it came over the weekend.
Nice.
Now I feel stuck until I save up more so that I can get the ECollar DVDs and start training the right way, the good dog way. Things would move much quicker if I was the lucky winner tonight. And those little prayer emojis, and then the emoji that goes. Thank you for everything you guys do, Dawn.
Oh, Dawn, we're so happy.
Awesome.
So happy to send this out to you. So
send us your address ASAP. Yes. So that's just so cool, Don. I can't wait to look at what we end. It does sound really super familiar.
Yeah,
It's just a few months back. So, but I hope we weren't being rude or brutal.
No. It sounds like whatever you said. I think it was kind of on you, one of the lower smackdowns.
I don't think it was a smackdown.
No, but it was probably one of those things that you just shared, like the low-down, dirty truth about what was needed, and it sounds like it connected and really helped her kind of make the next step.
That's so awesome.
But that's the whole thing. You never know. You never know when you're going to say something in a certain way that somebody needs to hear it, and then they can run with it. So,
so Don,
good for you.
You are the lucky winner. Please email us your address, and this is today. This will come out, and it'll be Saturday. So over the weekend, email me your address ASAP, and we'll get that out to you.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Yay. We won't be notifying anybody ahead of time because you gotta watch the show.
Gotta watch the show.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Question number 4 comes from Purple. The Halo Dog. On Instagram, the Halo Dog says, 1-year-old GSD was on electric fence for a short time. Due to him being very sensitive, the owner discontinued the use. Now I can't introduce the ECollar mini educator. At 3, it doesn't register, but at 4, a major freak out, break the heel position, and move on the opposite side or in between my legs. Doesn't sound like a GSD at all. Trying to escape the sensation. He also vocalizes. What? GSD vocalizes?
Where's Gidget when we need her?
He is very sensitive and gentle, but almost seems like he's working the system. Either way, is there a way to introduce the ECollar? I'm kind of stuck. I can't do for the client what they want without it such reliable. Such as reliable long distance recall.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. What is it? The Halo Dog?
Halo Dog. Yep.
That means that this dog should be behaving like an angel.
Right?
So I'm not sure why this question's coming in. Anyways, okay. So that's kind of a peculiar situation, and we've had several dogs come in that have had either like some pretty nasty e-collar training, or they've had electric fence training or work, and it can definitely cause dogs to be freaked out by even low-level stuff because they're seeing it as a predictor of something bad news bears, right? So it's a challenging one to work through because you're dealing with panic stuff, and if you got a reactive GSD that's vocal and all that, you really got your like a full house, card-wise, you got a full house of a dog that's going to give you a hard time. He's going to be vocal. He's going to be like a lot of histrionics. Going to be like a lot of silliness. So, but here's what I'd say. Or here's what I am going to say. The dog's likely just panicking because of what he's worried about. And we've seen so many GSDs just kind of naturally gravitate towards hey, I'll just panic and throw a tantrum, and this will be kind of like the easy way out. So what I would do is I would try to really not allow the panic to be the winner of the day. What I would do is whatever behaviors you're training, you're working at very, very low levels, between 3 and 4. I suspect on a mini educator, I would be doing heel, and if the dog should be on a prong collar as well, so you've got good control. If you've got this dog at 3 and he's not caring, and you go to 4 and he starts to really care or care too much, my suspicion is that he just needs to get acclimated to it and realize that 4 is not going to turn into 400. So I would use the prong collar to help make sure that you stay right where you're supposed to stay. That dog should be on a short enough leash. You know our gig, if you watch us, short but not tight leash. It's there for a reason like that. Give the dog too much slack, too much room, and what's he gonna do? He's gonna see that opportunity and he's gonna move and groove and do all sorts of stuff. So short but not tight leash, e-collar heel. 4, the dog starts to get a little goofy, just put him back in position and make sure you use the prong to kind of just negotiate or navigate that and keep him in his good spot. My suspicion is that after several reps of that and kind of being resolute, not being worried and panicky of crap, this dog's not going to be able to handle it, he should be able to calm down and take it and relax. Now, I'd also be curious about, does the shepherd have like a lot of arousal issues, right? Is the shepherd like bananas just kind of in general? Is he blowing through thresholds? Is he reactive in the house? Is he like moving all over the place? Because that could actually cause him to be more goofy on the walks, and then also more hyper responsive to the ECollar and things like that. So a calmer brain will process that information differently than a hyped up brain. So arousal can oftentimes be your enemy, and then the question is like, well, how do I get rid of arousal? So there's several ways to do it. Hard to explain. A lot of different things that you could do, but one of the things I would probably take a look at is doing like either 180s with the leash and prong with like some quick turns and like pops, and you can see that in some of the videos that we've got. Or I would do like, you're walking down the street, dog's getting ahead of you, hit the button, and then guide the dog back into a recall to come, you know, turn directions and come with you. Like you could do 180s with prong, or you could do 180s with the ECollar, and that should take some of the gas out of the tank and slow him down. If you've got like arousal as part of your makeup of the problem, and I suspect, like I can't remember the last GSD that didn't come in out of its tree and aroused and all kind of nutty and stuff like that. So I really think that if you're firm, resolute, use the prong collar, short leash, and demand that the dog is right here, I think your dog will acclimate to that level 4, and might even, like if you get rid of some of the arousal stuff, might not even care about the 4, and you might find you've got a lot more latitude and flexibility in those numbers. So beyond that, like I said, he's assuming it's going to get hot. He's thinking it's going to predict it's going to get bad. Yeah, and I would not let the panic freak you out. Even if he's had a hard time, I wouldn't let the panic freak you out. I would really try and encourage you to be the leader with this, and just say like, I get it. I get that you've had some weird times, but like dogs will absolutely throw you major curveballs of like panicky, crazy, silly stuff just because it's an easy thing to do. Your job is to be like calm and unflappable and be like, you're walking right here. You get nutty, I'm going to correct you, and I'm going to put you right back here, and we're going to go. Sounds kind of rough, sounds maybe harsh, but I'm telling you, if the dog feels any give when it gives this panicky thing and you respond at all to it, you're going to see a ton more of that stuff. I hope that makes sense. So when I go out with a dog that gives me any of that stuff, like we were just working with a dog today that was giving us some kind of panicky stuff, like rearing up and doing all this stuff, I was like, cool, we'll just work through it. Boom, 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 just keep working until the dog goes, none of this stuff's working. This panic, this frenzy, all this stuff, none of it's working. And I do that with the leash and the ECollar, and make sure that the dog learns the only way to win the game is by doing what I'm asking. And I don't mean that in a heavy-handed way. I just mean like, these rules are non-negotiable, and these are my expectations, and you've got to adhere to them. So I hope that helps, but make sure you mentally let go of the part of like, I think he had a bad situation with electric fence and all that.
It's a hard one.
Yeah. I would let that go, and I would just insist that he does some great stuff, and I think you'll see him let that stuff go.
Definitely. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Let us know how it goes.
Okay, so this is a cool question.
Question number 5 comes from Artem.
Artem, where you been all our lives?
Artem's like got a business.
Yeah, he's
like,
turning into like the Russian rock star, and he's like, I don't even remember those good dog guys, right? Sean who? Laura who?
Artem says, hello guys, it's been a while.
It has.
Not sure if my question is suitable for Q&A, but here it is.
Of course it is.
Sean, how and when...
Why is Jeff in a shower, naked?
Yes.
In a Japanese airport?
That's a good question.
It's a great question.
Sean, how and when did you meet Jeff Gellman and become friends and partners? It's interesting because you guys live and work in such far away from each other. I'm very excited to hear the story. P.S. I also wanted to say, I'm so happy for you guys. You always move forward. Your new place is awesome, and your team keeps getting bigger and bigger. Keep going forward and inspiring other people by your example. Aw,
thanks, Artem.
That's so sweet.
You're back in our good graces.
Yes, we love you again.
It didn't take much, did it?
No, it didn't.
So me and Jeff ironically met in a Turkish bath, and it was an interesting kind of like thing, you know. He was in the bath, but he had his solid canine training shirt on.
And so you're like,
and I was like, well, you're a dog trainer? Like, wow, this is so weird. no, that's not really the case. The truth of the matter is that I'd been watching Jeff's videos, and you'd been listening to his radio station.
Yeah, same about
or radio show.
time.
Yeah. So I've been listening to his radio show pretty regularly, watching his videos, and I was in a space where I was really trying some new stuff. I was just getting out of my valet gig, and I was really trying some new stuff. I was excited about some new projects and feeling pretty raring to go. And so I decided that Jeff, he was training out of his house. He had Clover and Romy training all these dogs, and he had all these kids, and he was going door to door, or not door to door, but home to home, and maybe door to door. And I just felt he was and with his personality on the radio show, I felt he was the perfect person for a reality TV show. So I contacted Jeff. I sweet talked him a little bit, and I said, which didn't take much, I said, would you like to be on a reality show? And he's like, just let me get out of filming this shot in the bathroom and for social media. And he said yes, strangely enough. So I flew out there with a friend, and on our own dime, and we shot, I think, in the winter time, and where I received one of the worst bites of my life.
Yes.
That's a whole different story. So went out there, shot a bunch of footage of Jeff out in the snow, pack walking, working with dogs, going to clients' houses, and then I went back a second time and shot some more footage on my own.
Yeah.
And then I came back with all that, and so of course, like, me and Jeff were like hanging out. We'd be in the van, and like can I say box? Will you bleep?
I'll bleep it out.
You can bleep it out.
Box. It's perfect.
If there is box on this
I
planet,
get a headache just thinking about it, because I used to have to sit in the back seat, and I'd get super car sick, and it smelled like
it smelled
wet
so
dog.
bad.
Oh, and
there wasn't a clean spot anywhere in it.
Nothing.
It was destroyed. So I think like actually box is generous. So anyways,
I think when he had to get rid of that thing, he was like, I'm gonna park it by the side of the road and have it, and we're like, no,
because it's gonna ruin your reputation. So anyways,
the
shitbox
opposite of what you're trying to do.
box aside, so I rode around with Jeff and went to clients' houses, and like we would go to lunch and have dinner with his family and his kids, and we actually kind of hit it off. And I don't know if there's more of an odd couple kind of out there in dogdom,
Really
but me and Jeff really are an odd couple. We're only a couple years apart. Jeff just turned 50. I'm 48, so we're a couple years apart.
Kids.
He's got 7 kids. I've got none. And
you guys have totally different lives.
Totally different lives, but we have this weird connection.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a really cool,
Good hearts.
But we want the best for each other, and we have a good friendship, and
It's like family. It really is.
yeah, but also there's some really cool counterbalances there that I think have been really cool in play, and you'll hear them on the radio show or in seminars or wherever, where Jeff is like very outgoing and I'm a little quieter, a little more introspective, that kind of thing, and so it provides a nice balance. And so then Jeff started coming out to LA because he was like, cool, we're building this friendship. I started working with Laura on doing an edit for
of the actual.
That's
thing
fancy.
That you
That's
filmed.
fancy, like industry talk.
Oh.
Nobody know. I never knew what that meant.
An edit of the actual thing that you actually filmed.
Because this girl has got all sorts of history and experience in post-production.
When I met you, I was doing post-production. Yep.
Right.
Getting out of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we basically traded dog training for polar bear.
Yes.
I would like wrangle polar bear, trying to get him to stop biting you, and you would help cut the Jeff Gellman teaser. Basically, let me cut to the chase. We were trying to get a teaser put together to shop to production companies for Jeff for a show. Yes. Laura helped me. We worked tirelessly for months on it. It was the longest teaser in history, probably 19 minutes. We just watched it the other day.
Awesome.
It's hilarious. There's some
Jeff's just perfect.
If you can find it, it's old school Jeff, and it's some bomb ass stuff. It's really great. So, and then we started doing stuff here. Here in LA, we started doing like little workshops. Mm-hmm. The three of us would do little things together, and it just kept blossoming. And then one day we talked about, everybody was hitting us up for T3, not T, they didn't have a name, but they were like, we'd love to shadow or study with you guys. Yeah. We put T3 together, did a weekend or 3-day little seminar, and it just took off into this thing, and now we're all like great friends. And I might have to create a little distance after his latest post in the Japanese airport with the time-lapse footage and like the low framing. The low framing's the part I have a problem with the low framing. There's some like tan line stuff that concern me a bit. But I think he's got a new camera, and he's just getting fancy pants, and I know what's going on. You know what's going on. He's been watching Casey Neistat videos, and so he's like, cool, I got time-lapse, and I'm in the shower, and I'm going to tell a story or a narrative.
Not telling a story.
Except I'm not telling a story. I'm just naked in the shower, quick. Anyways, so that's how I met Jeff. We love him to death. We love Linda. We love Angelo and Clover and Romy. Boots, somewhat. Boots is up there. And they're great. They're great peeps. And we couldn't be more different, but we do love each other deeply and dearly. So that's how that all went down. So that's the Jeff story. We've got a final giveaway.
Are you doing this? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So last giveaway is to Miss Catherine Darts. Catherine says, hi Sean, I'm currently listening to you on Periscope and getting this great suggestion. I would love to win one of your prom DVDs. Firstly, I've never won anything, and winning something to do with dog training would be awesome. The reason is because I'm a budding trainer. I left my last job where I was paid $120K per year to follow my dream of becoming a dog trainer. I saved a bunch of money in order to pursue this dream, and I also signed up to complete some post-grad studies in art.
Nice.
Yes, random, but you gotta follow your dreams.
Cool.
So as a student and budding dog trainer, I also have to be careful with my cash. So as you can see, winning a DVD would be awesome. The reason I'm following this dream is because I was told to put my boy down after he showed human and dog aggression. I worked hard, I did a lot of research, and started to rehab him. Cut to 15 minutes down the track, I now have a second dog, a Belgian Shepherd who's 5 months, and they play together in the front yard every day. Sounds like I managed to turn him around. I'm constantly in pursuit of knowledge when it comes to dog, and I've been following you for some time now. The stuff you post always speaks to me. You always seem to post something that is perfectly timed with what I've been researching. It's awesome.
Thanks.
I live in Perth, Australia. She gave us the address.
Perth.
Thank you for everything you do. Your stuff is great, beautifully put together, and always really entertaining. Aw, Kate.
Boom.
Yay.
Kate, all that sweet talk, that guarantees you a win. You can't sweet talk us like that and not win something.
Totally.
So we're really happy to. Is it Kate or Catherine?
It's Kate.
It's Kate. So
Sorry.
I have Catherine written down.
Well, Catherine.
I like to be proper.
On her email,
Okay. So Kate, we're so happy that you won, and your first thing ever that we got to facilitate that.
We got to be part of it.
We love it.
Yep.
Thank you so much for the kind words, and let that be a lesson to anybody else looking to win. A lot of flattery. Might get you in the door. So the Prong Collar DVD is coming out to you. Do we have an address for
an address
her?
We'll be sending to you.
So she listened to instructions. Nice work. So
you have to get them to write the address afterwards. You want to make sure they watch the episode. Say like, we gotta watch, and then if you win, you send an address.
A little luring.
Incentive.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. She's clever. This
Salesman.
She's clever. Okay, would you do me a favor? Would you go grab those bricks? I'm sorry, but just I forgot to bring them over.
You could totally see me dropping these on the way.
On Junior's head.
Killing a dog and breaking the bricks.
Will you hold that one?
Yes.
And I'll hold this one?
Yes.
This, it says enjoy,
says
Donna and Emma. Anything on that one? Oh, that's so cool.
Donna.
So, Donna Cram, if I'm not
Cram,
mistaken, right, with the last name?
She's given us the Good Dog bricks before. She's given me a Cujo one, a GSD one. She's given you all your dog's names.
Yeah. And I mean, the Good Dog one sits on, I guess she probably doesn't even know this.
No, it's like our main.
On our coffee table sits, and I know it's not a garden, but.
Now we have a garden.
Yeah, so we can actually put these to use. Yeah. But those sit right in the middle of our coffee table for all our clients to see, and it says The Good Dog stacked together like that. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate this.
She also gave me an awesome magnet that has little it's cactus, but it's like I know the word. Succulents. on there, so you soak the cork, and it actually like keeps the succulents alive.
Okay.
And the cork has 3 cool words. I don't know what they are, but it's sitting on my refrigerator right now, and it's awesome.
All right.
Just love it, Donna. We love all your great stuff. This is so cool because it has the fleur-de-lis.
Yeah. No, that's a super nice touch.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like embed these right before like down the hallway to my bedroom, so everybody sees like, hey.
Put it on your door.
On my door.
You know who's here.
Sean O'Shea, and star underneath it. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. Can't thank you enough for the thoughtful gifts. So, you know what we haven't gotten lately?
Final thought.
Care packages.
Oh yeah, where are those care packages?
It's been kind of quiet, guys. I mean, maybe once I started like getting off the Pop-Tart train, like people got less enthusiastic.
It's like all of the people on there should start giving me the stuff because I'm not off the Pop-Tart train.
Yes, you are. You were never on it.
Well, I'm not off the bad food.
No. But we haven't been getting anything, so I was just wondering, like,
are we doing
where's the
quality
love?
stuff?
Where's
or what?
the love?
What's just kidding. No.
We're fishing a little bit. So, anyways, final thought. So I know this show's kind of gone long, but it's been kind of a fun, good, high energy show. And I just want to wrap up this last thing. I posted Sean's rant today, which will be like 4 days by the time you see this. And I also we posted Helix's video, which shows like him from drop off to like 3 days in, something like that. And what you see, or what you hear me talking about, and what you see in the video, because I also talk about, what was the little dog? What was his name? The one that came into the Good Dog with 12 bites?
Yeah, I forget.
I can't remember his name. I tried. Teo, yeah. Nice work.
Thanks.
And nice retrieval. And like Teo came in, 12 bites to the face. We've got Helix that's come in. It's happened with a multitude of dogs.
Yep.
And what I think a lot of trainers, a lot of owners are missing, and I don't want to like beat a dead horse, but this concept is so important that if you don't stop frenzied, negative, aroused, aggressive behavior, you don't create the doorway and the mindset for new behavior to be replaced with to implant, to teach, to lead your dog in a new direction. And when I posted the rant today, I got a ton of people saying, this must be the missing link. So I got a ton of people on the Good Dog page saying like, I'm stuck. This is what's going on. I'm stuck. It was like a theme over and over again. And I get it. You are stuck. And most likely that's why you're stuck, because you're dealing with arousal, frenzied states, stuff like that. And if you don't know how to take that down, if you don't know how to diminish that, then you can't, like I said in the post, you can't train, or you can't teach a tantruming child any kind of like reading or math or anything like that. And you can't teach a tantrum, I can't barely say that. You can't teach a tantruming dog any kind of like training or behavior or better choices. So it's so important, guys, that if we've got a frenzied, chaotic, crazy dog, that we cap that and bring it down, correct it, address it, inhibit that behavior, so we open the gateway, open the doorway, so we can start to train new, better, healthier behaviors. And I think that's such a missing link, and you being a fly on the wall, you've watched it a multitude of times. Dogs come in, like the old famous Desmond video, you know, where Desmond was a disaster in his video, and there was one correction, one light correction, like kind of like, not that he didn't need more work, but that like took the arousal out, and all of a sudden he was like, oh, what do you want to teach me?
Right.
Oh, I'm present here. And the same thing happened with Helix, and the same thing happened with Monty, or the little guy that you were talking about a second ago, Teo. And Teo never bit any of us again, and he was easily handleable. So
he's doing great at home.
Yeah, I want to get that message across. I know it's an unpopular message. I know the idea of like consequences for just like aroused state and things like that is something that's foreign for a lot of people. But if you want to understand why we're successful with dogs, or one component that's a big piece of it, it's that we understand that if you don't bring arousal and frenzied behavior down, you're going to be stuck.
Yep, definitely.
Do you want to add anything to that?
No, it's just that I've seen it 1,000 times, and I've seen it work every time, and I think it does separate, you know, from just like obedience versus like knock that off. And it's not like knocking the dog's block off, but like Desmond was like a small hand correction to the side.
Yeah.
He'd never been told no except for his owners.
That's the thing, no part.
It's hard because owners are like, I've screamed at him, I've told him no, I've, jerked the leash, I've even used like a choke chain or something. Sometimes just a different source of pressure for the dog is like, oh my gosh, like blows their mind in a way of like,
I can't do that.
Wow, I can't do that. I was just talking to a woman today about her dog that's going to come in for a board and train, and she's like, the best thing that's worked with my dog. I hope she's cool with me saying this. She's like, the best thing that's worked with my dog.
Chase him around with the stick.
He'd be out front in the yard barking at someone going by. He's got major territorial stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, and I took a glass of water. I was in the top floor. I poured a big glass of water and poured it on his head from the top floor, and he like stopped. He was like, oh, this is so weird.
And why?
Because he's like,
because it sucked, right? Like things that suck. Let's call this what it is.
Yeah.
Things that suck typically don't get practiced a lot.
And we're not talking about like hitting a dog with a baseball bat or
she didn't drop the glass on his head.
Right. We're talking about just like something that's like knock it off. Stop.
Yeah.
And the
a
dog's
consequence
like,
that's valuable for your dog,
Right.
valuable enough for your dog to change his behavior, open up his mind, and be ready to listen and learn.
Cool.
Awesome. I
Thanks.
think this was a kick-ass
Fun show. Yeah.
Nice work, lady.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for everything.
You got it. And thanks to Shelby and Henri
Yes.
for
I think that's why the show went a little longer. That's great, though. They need to be introduced.
Yeah. And
Brett
I
introduced, we got Tony.
love seeing the frozen demeanor on their face
both of them.
when the ring of fire came upon them. It's all fun and games until you sit on the couch.
Except they're not like that in real life. They're like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Can't shut
We'll
them
get them. We'll get them back.
Yeah, we'll get them
All
on
right.
camera to do that.
Cool. Nice.
Thanks, guys.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Or not tomorrow. Maybe next week.